So, the reason that we gathered you all together today
The reason we gathered you all together today
is the remix.
3, 2, 1.
Prepare for battle, we're diving into a world unknown where legends begin. Jim, Christine, and Brian guiding the way. In Azeroth we'll conquer, there's no time to delay. Server restarted, we're ready to play. Join us now as we fight day after day. From dungeons to raids, we'll conquer it all. In the world of Warcraft, we'll never fall. Server restarted,
All right, so welcome back to another episode of Server Restart. And it is a World of Warcraft podcast hosted by three opinionated players who like to get together to discuss their thoughts about the current state of the game. My name is Jim, joined by Kristen
Hello.
and Brian.
Hi.
And there have been some interesting developments since we last met.
Oh my.
Currently, Plunderstorm is still going on.
I'm rank 30.
Yep, you're 30 now. You
I
got
just got 40 on Friday. Woohoo.
Nice.
You got
somebody's
2 wins under your
slacking.
belt. Yep.
2 wins under my
I got
belt.
a win somewhere that's not currently in my possession.
But so that's not quite sure. There's kind of thoughts that it might be ending on the 23rd when season 4 goes live. No confirmation on that yet, so that's coming up. That's like
Yeah.
9 days
Yeah.
from now, from the time of this recording.
Ah.
8 days from the time this comes out. But they kind of dropped another bombshell. So I guess season 4, the end of the expansion, is the time of experimentation. And it is the time where they're testing out these new features, Plunderstorm being one of them, a battle royale PvP type game system that's not tied to WoW. But now there's a PvP limited time event that's planning on coming out with patch 10.2.7.
Ew.
Why say ew?
You said a
I
PvP.
think
I said PvP.
Yeah, you said PvP.
Oh.
You said PvP.
No, I
You
said
said
PvE.
PvP.
Well, it's a PvP.
Your P's and your E's. So
Yeah.
Sorry, I must not have been enunciating. The PvE
you gotta look your lips
limited
before you talk.
time event
Oh.
coming out, and it is called World of Warcraft Remix, Mist of Pandaria. And essentially, it is a time-walking expansion where you create... It's. Do you remember how when you level, you can do like the time-walking leveling, and you can pick which zones you level in and what quest lines and stuff you do? It's exactly like that, but with a different story, and it's separate from WoW. So you create a character. They start at level 10. It goes from 10 to 70, and they're like time runner characters. It starts off, you're in like this. You are on the Timeless Isles, and you're with members of the Infinite Dragonflight, because there's the one that you kind of work with Chromie and kind of bring over to the good side or whatever, as far as, I forget, Eternus, right? The one that Chromie's chasing through time and all that stuff. Eventually, she sees that, whatever made her mad at Nozdormu kind of got resolved, so she's not really super mad at Nozdormu.
Wait, who's mad at North?
Eternus.
Oh.
The
Yeah,
Infinite
yeah.
Dragonflight stuff, right? So you're there and like shit's going down. So you're there to kind of like correct the timeline and like fix the timeline. But
Oh, that's kind of cool.
there's not really anything you're doing because you're just passively collecting like threads of time. So,
Is that what they actually said though? I thought when it starts, they say that they just want to see.
oh, that might be
There's
it.
something they want to see. Yeah,
So-
something along those lines. It was
well,
kind of weird, but it
did
was
you
like
do-
very much like, just go do this again, and we're gonna watch.
Did you play on the PTR too, Brian?
I did actually. I
Okay.
played. I got a few levels, and then I got. I got to a stopping point towards the like little intro area for like non-Pandaran, and
Huh.
so I'm actually playing right now as well. So
Okay, so I think today's the last day for it. For
Oh,
this little
really?
mini, yeah, it's like the 12th through the 14th is kind of like a mini test on the
Oh.
PTR for it.
When does it come out again?
10/27, I don't know.
We don't know.
I'm not sure what the date is for that.
which
Yeah,
is after season 4, right?
Maybe
Or
I'll-
is it vice versa?
Maybe
it's
I'll do
after season
that
4.
After after this.
So yeah, essentially you are thrust and you kind of fix some things right there, and then I guess like you said, while you're there, you're doing some stuff. They give you basically an artifact cloak that, as you fight and kill things, you have a chance to loot threads, and like you don't have to do anything with them. They automatically get picked up and absorbed into your cloak, and you'll have a buff. And if you look at the buff, it'll tell you what the stats of your cloak are, and it'll give you like leech, it'll give you experience gain, it'll give you stats, all that kind of stuff, and it just builds up power. And as it levels up, it'll level up, so it levels up with you and stuff like that, and you get like a new fucking appearance each time it goddamn levels up. It's crazy. It's like because it's like modular and changing and stuff like that, so you don't have to do anything with it. It's not an active mechanic where you have to like dump stuff in or click on the artifact power type thing. It's just automatically picked up. You also, instead of for quest rewards, instead of getting gear, you just get caches of infinite time or whatever. I forget what the hell they're called, but you open them up and you'll get gems. There's a new currency called bronze. You get sometimes you can get loot depending on the level, and then you can get just some other stuff or whatnot. So the way the gems work is there's 3 types of gems, right? You got tinker gems, which are just actually you got 4 types. You got stat gems, and then you get which are just you can combine them to build them up. So every 3 of a certain level, like 3 green ones will bump up to a blue, 3 blues to a purple, whatever. And they don't seem to have numbers attached to them, which I think that means that they scale with your level. So like the green ones are like plus haste, plus crit, and then like the blue ones would be like they're like plus crit, plus haste as they level up. So I think that that's just like it's a percentage or something like that. It doesn't tell you what it is, but I think that they scale so that way you're not having to like keep replacing them. And the nice thing about it too is that they give you a socket extractor. So any gem you put in, you can take out of a piece of gear and move it to the next piece as you get higher gear. So they got the stat gems, and then they got tinker gems, which give you like like automatic abilities, like chance for things to happen, like shields, damage, extra heals, and stuff like that. I had, like there's hailstorm, there's frost shield, there's a fire shield, there's a meteor storm, all that kind of stuff. Just like extra, almost like the corruption stuff, right? When you got like the corruption on your pieces of gear, it had a chance to trigger certain effects. But now you can control it and whatnot and move them around and save them and all that stuff. Then they have cogwheel gems, which give you an extra ability. And I think those are only on boots. So like it's funny because I was leveling Blood DK, because why would I not level a DK?
I know I'm
I
gonna
got-
level a druid.
I got Heroic Leap. So now I'm a druid or a Death Knight with Heroic Leap. And stuff like there's like Blink, and there's
You got wild charge.
I got Wild Charge. I think they're all kind of movement because they go on the feet. And there might be some other ones, because like you don't start off with all gear, like all gear slots filled out. You get, a couple of pieces of gear as you build up and whatnot. But yeah, so that's neat. And then they got meta gems, which go in the helm, and that gives you another ability, but like a powerful ability. Like I got one that is like the crane, and you turn into a crane, and then you get like 4 new abilities and stuff like that, and it lasts for like 30 seconds. And so it's like just like a bonus like power thing. There's different ones that you can do, so you can kind of move that stuff around. And again, you just pop them out and cycle them out. They also give you a personal essentially scrapper that you open up, and it's just a portal you click on. So any gear you don't want or whatnot, you can scrap to get bronze, because bronze again is the currency that when you get to one of like the infinite bazaar type areas, you can buy item sets that they have, like transmogs that you can buy that are recolors of older stuff. You can buy mounts, so you can buy new mounts that are recolors that are available here. But they also have some, like they have the Mythic Garage mount, the Scorpion, the Mechanical Scorpion. So they have like actual mounts that you can still get in the regular game that you can get here. Because what's going to happen when this event gets over, when your characters are going to be turned into normal characters, and everything you collected on them gets, you know, it's added to your main account. It's all tied to your main account. You have all that stuff. So like you have all your mounts from your main account in the time running. Like when you start off, you immediately have access to dragon riding and regular mounts and all that stuff. They give you just a full complement of 36 slot bags, you know, which is nice. So you're not like having to get bags and stuff like that, because you can't leave the Pandaren zone. It was funny because I'm like, oh, I got to go Runeforge my weapon. Wait a minute, it won't let me cast Deathgate. So I'm like, this is a bug. So I file a bug, and then I see I have a buff that says, oh, you can do it without a Runeforge. And I was like, shit. So you can just do it right there, which is nice, you know. So like, yeah, you can't leave. There's no auction house because it's outside of the main thing. So
I won't lie, man. I think it feels so much more like leveling inside of the expansion. I mean, literally you are, but the weird thing about leveling through the expansion nowadays is that you like overpower it because it's not geared. You know what I mean? Like you overpower everything, so the experience is definitely not the way it was back then. It feels a lot more like that, and being locked into it gives you a chance to actually like,
yeah,
immerse yourself in that expansion. I like that.
It's yes, it's kind of like what like the time walking leveling stuff should have been when you pick what like expansion you want to level through. But
right.
Lower levels is just so slow. And like I think I'm like level 20 something now in this. So leveling is faster for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you obviously can level the full thing in expansion. Like when Mist came out, you were only doing 10 levels, right? So yeah, leveling would be slow. So now they had to expand that out to do the same thing, where like if you get to a certain point, you know, where you'd hit max level like 2 or 3 zones in, or even 4 zones in, like when it came out, you know. So like you kind of have that same thing where you'd kind of be 70 after doing a couple of zones, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's the quest lines are all the same. There's a few, I don't want to say changes. There are infinite dragonflight, like little like not hidden areas, but like around. There's one, I forget where it was at, but like where like the bazaars are and stuff like that, so that you can spend your bronze and stuff like that. Because the whole thing is like it treats you like you're just doing the expansion, and it's just like it's funny when they start playing the cinematics.
What server are you on?
What's the first server on the list?
Bundo?
I have absolutely no idea. Hold on, I can pull it up and see what server I'm on. But it is interesting, and it's a good. I like the take of it, but
The only thing that's kind of weird is just the fact that like, and it's just weird. I don't hate it yet, I guess, but you only really loot bronze and chests.
Yes,
and like that, you get armor sometimes from looting, from loot, right? Not just from chests.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they control.
So it's kind of weird.
They control that because it's gated as far as like what pieces of gear you're gonna get. You're not gonna start getting helms until you've hit a certain point in the story of the level, because that's part of like the quest rewards and stuff like that. Because like you won't get meta gems and you won't get helmets until a certain point in the leveling process, because they're kind of like slowly introducing like the different things. Like they give you like just the regular gem slots, and they're like, okay, now combine the gems and all that stuff. Then they give you like the tinker gems, where now you can put stuff on. And so that's the only thing I don't like, is like you have to use the extra item to pull stuff out of the socket. That really just is kind of an extra step.
What do you mean?
So they give you the item to use to extract gems from the
Right.
gear. Well, you have to click it to do it. It's like, why can't it? Why should it be?
Oh.
I don't think it should be attached to the gear. It should just be an additional slot in your character sheet that you just put them in. You know what I mean? Like like I think that would be a
I
little.
don't know. I like the gymming thing. Like I always wish gymming was that way more so. Anyways.
That you could pop them out. I would say if you made it so that you had a chance to extract it, because otherwise you put
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah, I
gonna
get
leave
that.
jewel crafting in and leave gems as part of that, if you make them like 100% reusable, then there's no need to buy that. You buy them once, you don't have to do it. It was a problem with glyphs, right?
Yeah.
Like once you got the glyphs, you didn't need anymore. So like the market fell out, and now nobody, like you can't level up because nobody is buying it and stuff. So you're just like dumping gold into it just to do something with it. Yeah, I mean, but I just think like a UI thing, it would be a little bit easier. But I mean, that's just my opinion on that. But yeah, so that's a really cool feature with it. Trying to think of what else. I don't know what I was going to talk about after that. Yeah, so oh, no, I mean, I do want to talk about that. Yeah, it feels like just like leveling in Mists. You know what I mean? It's just that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Oh, you can upgrade gear with bronze. It upgrades all the way up to like level 536, high level 536. Because I think that's going to be like one of like the entry levels of gear in 10.2.7. So when or maybe at the beginning of A War Within, the next expansion, because I don't think that they're going to become on your main account until the event's over. And I think the event will probably go up to A War Within, but to the launch of the of that server. So that way, you know, yeah, it says,
makes sense.
yeah, because they say in their stuff, keep what you collect, take your collection of transmogs with you into the War Within. So, yeah. So, I will say the Zandalari scouts, the war scouts, the rares that wander around, don't try to kill them. They will one-shot you. I'm like, oh, sweet. I landed, just boom, just fucking dead. And it's just like,
That's awesome.
so I will say it does. So their characters are basically current WoW spec, whatever, right? It's like, it's the current WoW. It's not Mists, like talents and stuff like that and whatnot. It is current WoW, which does carry with it some problems. And we've seen these problems before, specifically in Temple of the Jade Serpent. So I was tanking. I was doing a heroic one, and that's the one I got. And let me tell you what, Blood DK's supposed to be fucking strong. I was getting chunked like so goddamn fucking much. It was insane.
On the PTR?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I was level 20. And, you know, we're doing a heroic one, you know, and it's like you can do time running dungeons. You can queue for time running dungeons. Which is, they have other ones in there, but I don't know if you can actually do those or not. But, you know, I was just doing a heroic, and it was just like, I just kept getting chunked. So I know that healer was just probably pulling their hair out. I'm like, died a bunch, and you get to the last boss, which is that Shah of Doubt, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
And couldn't kill it. Because the priest is like level 14, doesn't have dispels. Can't dispel the shit. And that I feel like we've run into this problem before, either during when it was a Mythic Plus, where that was a problem, was the dispels, not having enough dispels or whatnot, and not being able to heal through, because then you can't, and people weren't killing stuff fast enough, so the boss would heal back up with like the little ads, the shadow ads come out and stuff. So it was like almost impossible to do with that at a low level. And so I think that probably needs to be addressed, because it's supposed to be, you know, like Mists, right? And I get not changing the dungeons and stuff like that because it is like the Mist version. It's not the Mythic Plus version of that dungeon.
But the skills that are available should be.
Yeah, but the skills that are available don't match the need
Yeah.
for that. You know what I mean?
Did you submit a bug report?
No, I need to go on the because you can't submit a bug report for the boss unless you kill the boss.
Oh.
I mean, I could do it.
Well, you could have just
After,
submitted
yeah.
a bug report and said we couldn't kill the boss because we didn't have this available.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. Somebody comes in and goes, "You need to be dispelling," and the priest is just like, "Are you fucking serious?" He's like, "I'm level 14. I don't have a dispel.
Yeah.
What are you smoking?" and stuff like that.
That to me is the problem with not having, with relying too much on those abilities in dungeons. It like a dispel should be, you should get a dispel from the beginning, and it should be just
yeah.
it should be like a like Final Fantasy has that role specific items, right? Stuff that is role specific. So if you're a healer, you automatically get a dispel. You know?
Yeah, I think or it should be higher up on the tree. And I think the problem is, again, when the expansion came out, you know, you were coming off of max level and stuff like that, and like the talent stuff was all different, and you did have that kind of stuff. You know, it's like some of those things were baked into the class or the healers and stuff like that, or like they were really low in the talent tree, or you already had most of the talent. I don't remember what the talent tree was like in Mist, but you know what I mean? It was like, so the dungeons were built with that, you know, toolbox in mind. So it's just like, it doesn't translate well when you take the current stuff and go back 10 years or whatever. I don't know if it was 10 years or something like that. Probably close, wasn't it?
Oh shit! Yeah, no, yeah, it is 10 years.
So
2014 was the end of Mist.
yeah, so
Yeah,
more than 10 years. So, you know, it's just like, yeah, so that is a problem with it and stuff like that, but it's, you know, it is what it is. It's hopefully they'll address it. That's why it's on the PTR for stuff like this to be found. So
Well, that's like I had issues healing on a druid, but then I'm like, I really don't know how to heal on a druid now, and so I had to learn quite a bit. And people died, but we finished the dungeon, so
yeah, it's,
and I had fun. But I
yeah,
did notice my tank was squishy too, but he was also a druid, so I don't know.
well,
Seemed off.
I think it's because your toolbox is missing so much. It's like, I'm like, I was changing my talents in the dungeon and stuff like that. I was regemming, which is nice that you can do. I was like, okay, well, I'm taking all these damage things off and I'm putting on more of the shield stuff. I think I got one on too that will potentially heal people in the party and stuff like that. You also get scrolls and stuff like that too, which basically give you like party buffs and stuff like that. You get resurrection scrolls that you can use to res people,
Which gets really overwhelming really quick.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
there is a lot of stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, it's because it's so different than Modern WoW, right? It's like you don't have these things, so now all of a sudden you have like this whole big toolbox of things. You forget to like throw buffs out and stuff like that.
Right,
It's
yeah.
so that I don't know if it's there to just supplement not having that stuff in the lower levels or just in general. I mean, fuck, they gave you drums. They gave you timeless drums, you know, for lust and all that stuff. So
right.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's leveling. It's not as fast as if you were leveling a normal character, but it is a nice way to basically level a new character, to give you an opportunity to get to level a new character for the next expansion and stuff like that, rather than just the same old boring stuff. You know, it's at least, because you can get stuff. You get transmogs, you can get mounts, you can get titles and stuff like that, you know, that are in it. Apparently, like, there was some data mining of like the Realm First achievements were still in, but but they said that was a bug, like, because it doesn't make sense, right, to re-put those in. But so
That's funny.
yeah, I mean, it's scenarios are back in play. You can do scenarios. I think it's like the 3-person stuff. So
Wild.
it's nice. It'll be something to do, kind of in the downtime before the expansion comes out. If you get bored raiding and doing the same dungeons and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a nice experiment idea. It'd be nice to see them do this with a bunch of other expansions and just put in there. Again, the only problem is you can't just plug and play. You have to adjust some of the stuff to make sure that it works with the current set of talents and whatnot.
Right.
So, yeah, and the cloak is nice too, because apparently everything you get for the power in your cloak, if you make a second character because you want to farm other transmogs and stuff like that, the cloak retains all that stuff. So, if you build a main character,
it buffs them further, doesn't it? Isn't it like isn't it the whole point? It's like it's kind of exponential buffing throughout each additional character.
Hey, I don't know if it gets exponential, but what it does is, like, if you do another character, when they get the cloak, it retains all the stats that your other character did. So it's not like
so it doesn't necessarily keep increasing.
No, it
for the
will
next
keep
character?
increasing as you do stuff,
Oh.
but it should. I don't know if there's a hard limit on how big the stuff
Do you
is.
have to complete a character before it does that?
And no, it just says power you earn on your strongest character is shared with alternate characters created for the event. So whoever is the highest, that's the level that gets used. And I would assume that as you level it, you're buffing it for the other character too. So I mean, it's nice to have that in there and whatnot. So,
and what was its its stat gains? What was that tied to? Right, because it does pop up every so often in the text that says plus whatever.
That's the threads of time that you have a chance to loot. Because they explain it when you do the quest. They tell you, it's like you'll be able to find like these threads around the stuff, and your cloak will absorb it. It will, empower it and stuff like that. So you don't even, like I said, you don't even have, like, the minute you loot, it automatically goes in. You don't have to do anything with the item. I don't think you ever even see the item, in all honesty, if you have auto loot turned on. So as soon as you pick it up, it gets absorbed by the cloak.
Oh, you do see the item. I can confirm that part, at least.
Okay, I turned on auto loot, so I mean I don't see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, same here. I mean, it is an item though that's on like the stuff to collect or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that bronze is gonna, as you get higher level and better gear, like higher gear and stuff like that, you're gonna start getting more. I think I'm at like 4,000 or 5,000 bronze right now.
Jeez, wow.
But some of these things, like, so I'm just looking at some of the mounts, like you can get, so there's a whole bunch of remix mounts, and they're anywhere from 2,200 bronze to 6,600 bronze, and those are all like the recolors. The original ones are a bit more expensive. So you got like some of the ones from like Elegon or the Zindalori Warbringers, like the Dire Horns or the Astral Cloud Serpent. Those are like 18,700. And it goes all the way up to like the Thundering Ruby Cloud Serpent. That's the one where you had to get the lasso and get Alani in the Golden Veil or whatever that flies around. That's like 50,000. So I would assume that the bronze gain is going to scale up as you get higher level and higher stuff. Like, I'm assuming higher pieces of gear, like if you start getting like blues and purples and stuff like that, when you scrap them, they'll give you more and stuff like that. So yeah, it's neat that they give you some stuff that, that you maybe are having a hard time getting in retail. Like Galleon is like the world boss, like the big lizard guy, I think. He has where is he?
Yeah, yep.
But,
that was that first one. That was that first world boss we encountered.
Yeah, so like they added those in so that you can get those here if, rather than try to sit there and farm it every week and stuff, which is nice because, you have an alternate means to do it. If there's one mount that you just have had shit luck on getting, and it's like, that'd be neat, Yeah, we talked about the bags and the mounts and stuff like that. You get that stuff right off the bat, it's nice. It's nice to have big bags right off the bat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not have to worry about that. Yeah, it's so far it's been, I enjoyed it. I liked Miss. I like doing the story, and it's having done the thing where I level through all that stuff so much. It's like, and especially that you can fly, is you can just zip around and just hit everything and just knock it all out and just boom, get it all done. And it's just like, it's great. It works.
Yeah, it definitely they hit like they hit a good mix between the two. Like you're going fast around stuff, but it doesn't feel like you're zipping through the content, so you can't actually enjoy it, which always seemed to be a problem, kind of.
Well,
after content was already out.
Yeah, it still takes a second to kill things. You're not like destroying stuff because they got that whole scalable stuff, like it scales to your level and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean more like travel wise, like especially in Mists of all places, because it does feel bigger in some spots. The dragon flying doesn't like kill it at all. Actually,
Yeah,
I think it feels better.
Yeah, that's the reason why I think dragon flying in old world stuff is like reduced speed anyway. It's because they didn't want to like make it feel like it was like right next to each other kind of thing. So yeah, so there was another thing that I saw. This is kind of outside of that, but there was some apparently NetEase and Blizzard have kind of reworked a deal and are going to be bringing World of Warcraft and stuff back to China.
Yeah, did you see the video of them rebuilding the Warcraft hammer?
You sure that wasn't them tearing it apart?
I just get
You just played it
rewind
reverse.
it. They put it back.
Yeah, that was what it said, because there's the orc statue. I'm sure it was Garrosh, because that's Gorehowl. I think that's his axe.
Yeah,
Like, it's funny, like in the article on WoW, the last thing it says, the only question is now who's going to rebuild the statue. and it links to the Wowhead article talking about it like the day after and stuff like that. And at the end of the video, they're handing out like this new like NetEase green tea. It's called Blizzard green tea, which apparently green tea is a modern Chinese slur that supposedly refers to a manipulative person who tries to appear wholesome, innocent, or traditional, but is decidedly not so. Basically, and it's funny because they talk about why it broke down, and like somebody had said that the president of Global Investment and Partnerships for NetEase at one point had alluded to a single jerk as the failure point. So everybody's kind of like, yeah, Bobby Kotick kind of fucked up that deal back in the day, which is why it ended. So it'll be interesting to see, because they still got to figure out, because a lot of people made new accounts on like the Taiwanese servers and whatnot. And so like if you copied your data out, because it gave that tool for people to copy, like preserve their account data and stuff like that, like how is that going to work if it comes back? Are they going to be able to merge accounts if they started a new account? Because they're going to be losing all the stuff they did in Dragonflight because it shut down during 10.0.5. So they're going to have to find some way to kind of reconcile that, because otherwise, if you made a new account and now you got like time-based achievement, like your seasonal achievements and stuff like that, there's no way to get that again, unless they just run them on a smaller patch cycle. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't think they're just gonna say, okay, well, you guys are gonna start with War Within and just like miss a whole expansion in your characters' lives or something. I don't know.
I mean, they got it back, I guess, is the important part. So
yeah, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else.
It's not much really else going on. I mean, this is like the
This remix thing is a pretty neat thing, I think.
I think the challenging part is going to be like, how do you get people to play it just to play it? Because lots of people have. I mean, the end goal really is like getting another character and experiencing. I guess two, right?
I don't
Getting
know.
another character and hold on, getting another character and then be able to experience Mist of Pandaria, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I think that I mean, I guess I speak from being that type of person, but it may fall off quick, right?
Mm.
And so like, because I think it'd be really fun if you have a group of people to kind of go through with, but keeping folks entertained to go back through Mists, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I think that might be the challenging part.
it is definitely it's PvE related, right? There's not going to be anything other than like feats of strength, transmogs, and mounts and stuff, right? There's toys and stuff too and whatnot that you can get. Some that I don't think like it's a way to get toys that were probably harder to get now or something like that you can just buy them. It's a interesting concept. You do not have to. The only thing you need to play it, like with Plunderstorm, is active game time. So you don't even have to be a Modern WoW player. You could be somebody that's never played Modern WoW and you just came back because you wanted to play Classic, and it might give you a chance to try out Mists. Like maybe you never played Mists. So, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the thing is. How, I mean, if it's just a means of creating a character to go farm like transmogs and other things, that's one thing. But then if it's limited, then that's kind of shit. Because unless they bring it back on a cycle and stuff like that, the problem is that they are giving everybody, I think, at least one additional character slot on the account. But I don't know if that's going to be, what happens if they decide to do a different expansion and do the same thing? Are they just going to keep pumping out expansion or character slots?
Right.
Is it going to be something that you could maybe take your main character in and go in and do because you want to farm the stuff? It's like, I don't know. A lot of people like to do things on their main character, but this is outside of that. So there's no way to bring your main character in.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, I get it because it's meant to probably, I think they're just trying out a new leveling experience for your people to be able to level to get a max level character without making it like the same boring shit and actually get something out of it rather than just running through all the same old shit where you don't really get anything new. Like now you can get something new if you want to level a new character instead of just doing a
and then ending the content so damn quick. You know what I mean? Like being like missing end to end the expansion. I mean, I think it's a good way to like rerun an expansion the right way, right?
Yeah, because then you actually have a period of time at the end where you can do the raids and stuff like that. You can do the stuff rather than just going through 2 zones of a whole expansion and missing everything.
So let's talk about that, because you can run the raids in LFR at lower levels, right? Is that what I heard?
Yes. So let's see. The first raids open up at level 25 in the Smogashan Vaults. Then at 35, Heart of Fear opens up. At 40, Terrace of Endless Spring. Level 50, Throne of Thunder. Level 60, Siege of Orgrimmar. And then at level 70, heroic versions of the raids are available. So there's a whole level of thing like that. Like in the beginning at level 10, you can immediately do 3 scenarios and 4 dungeons right off the bat. And then they kind of start slowly adding in scenarios or dungeons and raids as like the levels go up. And I think it's just kind of a way to be like, well, cool. It's like you're not getting new talents. I mean, you are getting new talent and stuff like that, but it's kind of like another way to kind of like, cool, you hit a new level milestone. There's new stuff to do, you know, so that way you're not just running the stuff. And I don't know what the if people are just dungeon running and whatnot. So
I'm sure there's probably some of that.
they're fucking
know.
hard, and I think it's just because at the lower levels you just don't have the normal kit, you know.
Right. How about scenarios? Did you get anything?
I haven't tried
I
one
don't
yet.
remember. I don't remember what scenarios gave out. The only one I remember, well, maybe two. It was something about a burning village, and then there was another one where the Dukers were on the little islands. Do you remember that one? I know three of us played together. That was like around the first time I actually started playing with you guys. But I remember playing that scenario, but I don't remember what we used to get from it.
So yeah, there's a whole bunch listed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 16 different scenarios. I don't remember there being that many. The one I think you're thinking of is Greenstone Village, and I don't think it was on fire. I think it was you had to ride the barrels and hit the little imps.
Yeah, that was it.
There's that one, and then there's the Lion's Landing, which I think might have something to do with the Hosen. I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of these.
Yeah.
And stuff like they got one like Dark Heart of Pandaria. I wonder if that has to do with going in and getting or unlocking the heart of Yasharj or whatever.
Yeah.
Because there's that one. I vaguely remember that one, and so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. We might have to go do some.
I'm leveling, so
Yeah, I mean, you're still in the Timeless Isles right now. You haven't got to the stuff yet.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll get there.
I'd ask what you think about it, but I mean, it's really just kind of like not much right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of people right here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that just sit in the fucking starting thing and don't do anything. I don't know if you can go back to it or not. You might be able to because there's a flight path, I think.
You know what I have noticed though? I can't find rares
I found a rare.
at all. Really?
Yeah, there was
These are just
one.
all
There was
dead
one.
already.
That could be. There was one over where you do the quests where you help the sprites from the Mogu, like they're attacking, and then like there's the panda ghost, and you have to like free the spirits, and then kind of get all like the spirit jars and stuff like that, kind of on the northern side and stuff. There's a rare that walks up there and whatnot. You fought him. I saw the Xandalore War Scout, but I don't think most people can kill that yet.
Yeah. But that's one that patrols like pretty far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or one of the many, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you try to go to the Isle of Bone or whatever it's called? Isle of Giants.
No, I don't think I'm high enough level for that. That's the one that's is that the one with where you collected all the stuff to get the white raptor and it's got Undasta?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No? Why? I'm sure that's like a max level zone.
Maybe.
Does it tell you on the map
No,
with it?
I mean, it just shows Undasta there. That's it.
Yeah. I know sometimes like the zone headers will show you like the levels and stuff.
Oh.
Oh no, yeah,
it
it's
was at
level 45.
45 to, yeah.
45 to 70. Isle of Giants and Timeless Isles, I can see it right here. Isle of Thunder is at 50. That's the last zone to unlock.
I did go make sure Galleon was there. He was over there shooting the village still. Galleon?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I like the concept of it. I think it's neat. I think that as long as the bronze acquisition does ramp up and it's fairly easy to collect so that you can get stuff. They also have you know how like they came out with those sets for like the class sets that were like the shoulders, the helm, and the belt, and then they had the arsenals and like the trading posts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They have alternate colors of that in the shops and whatnot, so you can buy the tier sets straight out with bronze and stuff like that instead of farming them and whatnot if you want to for all the different classes and whatnot.
So Check chat. I found that icon. Is that new?
They changed those icons with like the wings and stuff. They added those in. I think they were like secondary quests. That's the Cloud Serpent grind. So I did the quest, and that unlocks the dailies that you do to raise your Cloud Serpent. Back when you did that to get all the different stuff. There's that one. There's also like the purple triangle one, the inverted purple triangle for like the time people or whatever. So yeah, as far as I know, that's just because it's like a faction, maybe a faction or like a 'cause I think that is a reputation one. I bet the farmer ones have it too and stuff like that. Which, speaking of, I wonder how bad my farm is doing.
Did you already make it that far?
No, I meant in the real in modern WoW.
Oh.
No, I'm doing the whole zone.
Oh, these
Yeah.
screens.
Yeah, the cinematics just look so bad.
Yeah.
It's
No.
so
Oh,
Yeah.
I love the old model cinematics, dude. It's so great.
They're just not.
compared to what we have now. I mean, you
And when you think about
yeah.
where it was before, like, wow, we were like, oh my God, this is amazing.
these were so amazing from like Wrathgate
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Well,
'cause-
yeah, exactly. It's the
No.
what is it called? That style of machinima or what
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
Isn't that something like that? Oh, it's so cool.
Well, Wrathgate would have been like Machinima, right? Using just the standard WoW models and stuff like that. This is slightly better. I'm pretty sure it's just normally it's just regular anime, not using in-game assets and stuff like that. And then nowadays, you get like the
Cinema quality.
in-game ones are using your character models. That's more like Machinima with like the new models. But then like there's like the cinema ones where it's just like completely like CGI and stuff like that. It was just
and then there's 9.1, which is a totally different level of bouncy jaws jabbering
Oh.
with
9.1.
it
Was that
was that
Shadowlands?
9.1? It was Shadowlands.
There was in the raid where he was like, "Oh," when he got real.
Rah. And
Yeah.
it was also I think Sylvanas and the storyline thing or whatever was really
Those were the
bad.
in-game cinematics. Yeah, that was like the Machinima. Like they were really bad and stuff like that. Yeah, that Garage one in yeah, that was rough. That was really rough. But it was funny.
It was funny.
that was the COVID cinematics
Yeah.
where everybody
Yeah.
was working remote.
God.
Yep. I don't know. It's nostalgic for sure. To kind of go back and experience it in a way where it's like you don't just blow through it, you can actually experience it. I like
Good,
again,
man.
I like it. I think it's neat.
Yeah.
Hopefully they kind of make it semi-permanent so that way.
I mean, it's a neat way to level a new character. I gotta say, I am one of those people who wants to do things on my main. You know?
Yes.
And so
And that's part of the problem. But they should allow you to just take your main into
that's what I'm saying.
at end
that
level
would be cool.
and
And play through the story the way that they're, you know what I mean?
well, I don't even know about that, right? Like maybe do the expansion, but or at least take your main into it as if it was like a time walking thing and make it like a permanent time walking thing where you can go do dungeons to earn bronze to get the stuff, because people are going to be pissed
Yeah.
if they miss it, like people that weren't
Sure.
around, because now they'll never be able to do it. And if if it cycles, it's like you're not going to want to make a character every time. So this might be just an experiment to change the way like the time walking leveling works now in game. Like right now
do you think it's a play on
Chromie time. That's what it is.
do you think it's a play on giving
Classic.
out a classic?
No, because you're not as you were in Mists. You don't have the talents. It's not the same.
that's
You know what I mean? Because the loot's all different. Like they they basically just deleted all the loot tables and just put in the caches. You know what I mean? They have you know what I mean? Like they kind of hot swapped all that stuff. So like you don't get like the stuff that you would normally get. But I think
and the veil is like the way it was in the end.
it shouldn't be, because you shouldn't have.
It is. Well, remember the veil didn't have quests like at all.
It shouldn't even be open. It should be locked until you go through, and it's only because you can fly.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
No, it is. I mean, that's fine. The zone is definitely Shaw drenched, and it's not.
well, yes, but that could be because you haven't
maybe.
got it.
I'm sorry. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. I just flew here and noticed it. So
Yeah, it could be one of those things where like the phasing is weird right now,
maybe.
because obviously you're gonna have to do the story, and that wasn't like that during the story. Like after, that's like Siege of Orgrimmar shit. Like if you haven't done that quest line and stuff like that, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I take that back, because it depends, because they're not doing patch releases, right? It's not like everything's just there. So it's probably like at the end of the expansion where it's put in.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So
So it really is just like modern WoW.
it's like they just, it's like they took and whatnot, but they added in that stuff. So I don't know. It's nice just to be able to use the yak and not have to worry about buying it again.
Yeah.
The expedition yak.
I just went and got that because I was like, I need to do my transmog.
Yeah.
I don't want to show my.
So I don't know. This feels like a riff on Chromie Time, and it might be a replacement for Chromie Time. Like an in-game like story replacement. Like eventually this might make it into retail. Or maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just be like a, because I mean, fuck it, I'll make characters and then delete them. I don't know how many character slots I have left. I have so many Death Knights.
It's definitely wild, that's for sure.
Yep. And it's kind of neat too, because I don't think anybody saw it coming. I hadn't heard anything about it until they released it. You were like, it's pandemonium. And I'm like,
It's definitely,
and I was like,
it's
what?
Definitely a lot different than what I was.
It was funny because
imagining.
you said that, and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like I hadn't seen anything on it yet, and then I saw it like the next day, and I said, oh,
yeah,
that's what he's talking about. Yeah, no,
it's
I don't
crazy.
It's neat. It's a neat little thing to do. So it's, I don't know, if you didn't get a chance to experience it, watch the PTR. They'll probably do several rounds of this. So that way you can kind of help iron out some of the bugs and whatnot, and kind of get a chance to experience and see if you like it. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's a good way to kind of introduce a way to get things that just are hard to obtain now, or different. You know, it's like at level 20, you get a mount that's like the Falcon mount, but it looks really cool. It's like the August, I forget what it's called, the August Raven or something like that. But it's a neat looking bird. It's like orange and white.
Crane?
No. It looks like the Hawks, or like the
Oh.
and it's like, or it's almost like dreamsicle colors and stuff.
Huh.
I sent a picture.
Oh, there's goats again. Forget about the goats.
Yeah, here's I'm putting a picture in the chat. It's that kind of mount, but it's kind of almost got like the orange and like the white and stuff like that. It's a cool looking mount. You know? So,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
and you just get that at level 20 because the way the leveling stuff works. You know, you get a mount and stuff like that, or it was part of the achievement and stuff like that for whatever the hell. Time
Yeah.
Runner, I think, was the achievement. So, yep. Well, I think that's a pretty good place to end it up. So, hopefully they'll put more stuff out there for testing with this. Hopefully this becomes either like semi-permanent or on some sort of cycle, so that way it's not like a one and done thing, because that would kind of suck. You know, I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that would definitely suck.
It would be interesting to see. Like, I think my son even mentioned something about. Can you imagine Legion like this?
The problem is, again, how do you do it, right? If you do it,
that's not our problem. That's not our problem.
no. What I mean is, like,
No, I said imagine though. Imagine.
yeah.
That'd
I
be
mean, I could
cool,
imagine
you know?
Legion like this and stuff like that. I could imagine doing anything like this. The problem, again, though, is when you have zones that are like change. It's like, could you imagine doing this with Shadowlands? And just having and all of a sudden, like, Korthia and the other thing, like, when it drops, like, they're just already there, right? You know what I mean? It's like, it's not the same as if you were there playing it live.
I think that's interesting. Have they talked about how they're doing Throne of Thunder then? The Isle of Thunder.
It just unlocks at level 50.
Okay, but does it pace you to it though? I don't know.
I would assume that there's story for it, and like you'll probably get pop-up quests to kind of start those chains and stuff like that at level 50.
I think you got a good point though, because like that's, if they don't do that, then you'll never go there, right? I mean, reality is you'll level, then go to Timeless Isle, and that's it, because that's where it ends basically, right?
Potentially. Well, Timeless Isle is right before Isle of Thunder in like the ability too, so you may never leave. I don't know. That's the thing, right? It's like you had content blocks that happened in a certain order, and you brought that up with the Veil, right? It's like it's in the end game state, so it'll be interesting to see if there was a way to unlock it, like and have like mini like patch drops and stuff like that, but maybe that's not the intent of it.
I would say if they would just at least pace it that way and then guide you into that spot, then. And also, by the way, I've been flying around and I've leveled twice so far. I'm not sure what's going on. I've just been flying around the continent.
It's like it's like a Magellan thing, right? You're just exploring, and like you get XP as you unlock things.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's accelerated leveling, so that kind of makes sense that, you know, you could explore all that stuff and get a couple levels. So
crazy.
Yep. All right. Well, that's a pretty good spot to kind of wrap things up. Check us out next week when you'll get a recap from Kristen on her experience with it.
It'll be interesting.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. You can check us out at serverrestartin.com. Yes, we have a website. And thank everyone for listening. Bye.
Bye.
We're conquering